Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. This isn't exactly a horror-related video, but so this is another tag video. This was created by Lisa Loves, who's become a good friend on YouTube. She came up with the Getting to Know You tag, which I thought was really cool. Nice little way to get to know each other, you know. Just a few little tidbits, you know. And just coming back from watching a little bit of the royal wedding, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. With my wife, we were chilling out, just having a little tea and watching the wedding, and it was really nice. So it's 10 questions, and the first one is, tell us about the first movie you loved and how it shaped your love of movies. So the first movie I ever saw in the theaters was E.T., the Extraterrestrial. And yeah, I just love that movie. It just tugs at the heartstrings, and I just thought it was such a great story of friendship, you know, even though his friend was an alien from outer space, you know. I just thought it was a great story, and it was really touching, you know. And also another huge one I saw was Return of the Jedi, Star Wars. I love Star Wars, and that was such a great experience. And man, the line was around the building like 3 times. It was huge, and it was so cool to have been able to see one of the original trilogy in theaters. You know, that was awesome. So yeah, Star Wars is a huge reason why I got into movies. And when it comes to horror, when I was a kid, the first one I can ever remember seeing was Friday the 13th Part 2. And I was terrified, but at the same time I was intrigued, and then I saw Halloween, and then it just blew wide open for me. I just loved horror from then on. Just loved to be scared, and it's like a thrill, it's like a rush, you know. And I love it. Question 2 is, tell us a little bit about music you enjoy. So I absolutely love music. I'm just as obsessed with music as I am movies. And I love something from every genre, not just one note, you know. I love every genre pretty much. I like stuff from dance, I like old school 70s disco, I like old classic rock, I like some stuff from today, some pop music from today, even some of that top 40 stuff is good. And but if I have to pick a favorite genre, it would be heavy metal by far, because I absolutely love metal. And it kind of coincides with my love of horror, you know, because a lot of metal is kind of horror based. So yeah, I love, from when it comes to metal, I love everything from like Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Queensryche, down to the big 4, the thrash metal, obviously Metallica, Slayer. I'm a huge Slayer fan. And Megadeth I love, and Anthrax, and Exodus, and then all the way down to death metal, so the real heavy stuff like Cannibal Corpse and Carcass, and a band I really love called Necrophagia, a real extreme death metal band, but it's really horror movie based, which is really cool, like White Zombie, you know. Okay, and then question 3 is a thing people are most surprised to know about you. Probably one of the things would be the fact that I love horror movies and heavy metal music. Because I'm a real mild-mannered, kind of relaxed, easygoing type guy, and people probably wouldn't expect that I listen to extreme metal and stuff, you know. And they're into the gory horror movies and stuff. I just think it's an escape route. I love escaping into that fantasy of the movies. Anything to get away from life, you know, the harsh realities of life, you know, because life can be rough, as we all know. And another thing is, you know, it's a way to get out my aggressions, and I think a very positive way. And I think if I didn't have those recesses, who knows who knows if I'd even be around, you know. Next up, number 4 is tell us a random fact about you. I'm into art, and I write poetry. I went to art school. I got an associate's degree. I went to vocational technical school for art. So yeah, I thought it was going to be my career, you know. But things didn't quite work out that way, you know. I had a real hard time trying to look for a job in the field, you know. And I didn't quite take the routes that I probably should have, you know. And I'm not in the field right now, so and it was real crushing for me for a while that I wasn't able to get a job in the field that I love and what I grew up loving. I grew up loving drawing and art, and I love doing like comic book stuff, and I love drawing people, and I like doing portrait type stuff, and yeah, it didn't quite work out, but that's life, you know. And another thing is I was an altar boy as a kid. Not exactly the greatest Catholic these days, but I still believe in a lot of the principles of it. And I was also a scout as a kid. I was in the Cub Scouts and then the Weeblo Scouts, and I didn't quite make Boy Scout, but I had a lot of fun with it. Next up, top item on your bucket list. And for me, that would be to go back to Ireland. As a child, I went, and then I went again when I was a teenager to see all my cousins in Ireland and my aunt and uncle. And it was just such an amazing experience, and I just would love to go back there. I haven't gone since like 1991, and you know, I really miss my cousins and stuff sometimes. I got to see some of them at my brother's wedding because they came over to the U.S. for the wedding, but the others I haven't seen since I was a teenager, and I would really like to see them because now they're all grown up and they're married with kids, so that would be really cool. So number 6 is share a pet peeve with us. So one of my biggest pet peeves is like when I'm driving and like I stop at an intersection and then you wave for someone to go and they don't go, they just sit there. And then of course when you start to go, they start to go. And I hate that. That drives me nuts. Okay, folks, number 7, favorite and least favorite subject in school. Definitely art was my favorite subject by far. I just loved it. I love having a creative outlet to do whatever I want to create things, you know. I just loved art, and ever since I was a little kid, I loved to draw and paint, and yeah, that was my favorite subject. And my least favorite was definitely math. I hate math, and I still do to this day. I just get bored to tears. I can't deal with it. I hate it. So next up, number 8 is if you were on death row, what would you pick as your last meal and dessert? So I'm not a very picky eater. I'll eat pretty much anything, you know. I'm happy to have whatever I can get, you know. But if I was to have like the ultimate meal, you know, it's not gonna be a big fancy gourmet thing, but I would like to have a nice steak dinner, you know, maybe like a London broil with lots of mashed potatoes and zucchini on the side, and my dessert of choice would probably be cheesecake. I freaking love cheesecake. And I'd have nice strawberry sauce poured all over it with a cherry on top and whipped cream and all that good stuff. Yeah, that'd be like a perfect last meal for me. Let's hope that never happens. I hope I never end up on death row. Next up, number 9 is advice you would give to your younger self. I'll definitely say save your money, because when I was a kid, I just blew money like nothing and racked up debt. I worked 2 jobs for years and have nothing to show for it but debt, and I still having a problem with it. So yeah, definitely would not get credit cards and not rack up debt, and not, if I don't need something, don't buy it, and if I don't have the money for it, if I don't have the cash, don't buy it, because when you rack up that credit card debt, it's crushing and it's crippling. So next up, number 10 is any upcoming event or holiday you are looking forward to. For me, it's the Scare-a-thon. I'm going to my first ever horror convention, and I'm really excited about it. And this is going on in Framingham, Massachusetts. There's going to be a lot of cool people there, like Amy Steele from Friday the 13th Part 2, Tom Savini, the master of gore effects, Doug Bradley, who played Pinhead, a lot of cool people there, Felissa Rose, who played Angela in Sleepaway Camp. So excited to meet all these people and go to my first ever horror convention, and I'm hoping to get some nice little video, some nice pictures. I just think it's gonna be so much fun. So I just want to say another thing. I love my wife, my beautiful wife, and without her, I probably wouldn't be here, because we've been through so much together, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful person, and she keeps me going, and she's just an amazing, amazing person. And I just want to say I love you guys out there on YouTube. Thank you, Lisa Loves, for coming up with this tag. It's really cool. And so you guys out there, check out Lisa Loves' channel. She's got awesome content, great YouTuber, and like and subscribe to her channel. And I don't really know who I'm gonna tag, but I'll just leave it open this time because I don't know who's done this. I know she tagged a lot of people. But definitely do that, guys, if you feel free to do it, and it's so much fun, and we'll get to know you guys a little. But I love the horror community. It's been so awesome this past several months, getting to know some of you guys and making some friends, and I love it. It's amazing. So thank you guys for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay safe.